Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Advanced Real Estate Objection Handling. If you guys are catching this live, then welcome. If you're catching this on Facebook, welcome. If you're catching this on the replay and you're catching this on YouTube, please press the subscribe button and the bell and the alert bell to be notified of any new videos. So guys, in this week, we're going to cover 3 objections. Number 1, again, these objections come from the survey that I do when people are signing up for role playing for the following week. So the first one is, I'm not sure you're the right agent for us. The second one we're going to cover today is, if we sell our home, we're going to need another one, and I'm not sure we can afford something in this market. It's a fair objection. And number 3 is, how'd you get my number? So for those of you that are calling on expireds, which I hope everybody has some sort of expired program implemented into their business, this is probably the most common one that comes up. Well, not common, but this is the one that it's an expired listing that it would come up with this. You might get it around geo-prospecting, you might get others, but those are valid objections. Now, to dive into things, I want to break things down scientifically for you. Now, number 1 is, this is the equation. This is the rebuttal equation that I've used for a lot of years, that I've been working with you guys on in this group. So number 1 is you acknowledge. Number 2, you approve. Number 3, you add a softener. And number 4, you ask a question, because the person who asks the questions will always control the conversation. So you want to stay in control. The style that I practice as far as prospecting and role playing is a communication style of rebuttals and objection handling and such. Okay, so let's dive into that first one. I'm not sure you're the right agent for us. Now, this came up on the survey, and I can't remember a time that I actually got this objection. Now, I like the fact if somebody's actually getting this objection, because at least they're being honest. Now, another way to actually look at this question is, we need to think about it, right? Because if they need to think about it, now, if you've followed the process, if you've had a prospect and you set an appointment and you pre-qualified that appointment, by the time you get to the kitchen table, they should have all the information that they need in front of them, and you've rebutted many of them or most of the common objections. So for them to get, I'm going to think about it, or I'm not sure you're the right agent for us, that's okay. But when you're getting the I'm not sure you're the right agent for us, it's really saying, hey, I really need to think about it. And this is a better objection to get. At least they're being honest with you. So here's what you're going to do. Let's go back to here. Acknowledge. Now, what I would do is first of all, I would reframe this in the form of a question. You don't think I'm the right agent for you? Okay. I reframe their objection in the form of a question. And what that's going to do is dig a little bit deeper, right? That's the social cue. That's the way that we communicate, that if you repeat the question, if you repeat their objection as a question, they're going to give you 90% of the time, they're going to give you a little bit more information. I was talking to an agent the other day, and I got to tell you, I was asking a lot of questions and I was only getting answers. That's it. They were just shut down, right? So you're going to get 10% of the people you talk to will probably do that, maybe less than that. But so I'm not sure you're the right agent for us. You're not sure I'm the right agent for you? No, I'm looking at your experience. It doesn't look like you're working you don't do a whole lot of stuff in my market area. So it starts digging in to the actual objection. But let's just say that this is actually a surface level, a sincere objection. And we're just going to follow through the process. Acknowledge, okay? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I totally get that you might not think that I'm the right agent for you. That's where we acknowledged. We're going to approve. In fact, most homeowners want to make sure that they're choosing the right agent for the job of selling their homes, right? Now, I did something there, right? I did what's called a level shift. I said that most homeowners want to choose the right agent for the job of selling their home. The objection is I'm not sure you're the right agent for us. So what I did is I switched it by using a level shift from being this objection into looking for the right agent, right? So we acknowledged, we approved. Now, if you don't mind me asking, that's the softener that I typically go to. If you don't mind me asking, while I have you on the phone, while we're here talking, there's a lot of different things you can use as a softener. But you throw the softener in there, and then you ask the question. Okay, now let's go break this down from the beginning. I'm not sure you're the right agent for us. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I totally get that you might feel that I might not be the right agent for you. In fact, remember, we're going to approve. In fact, most homeowners are concerned and they're serious about choosing the right agent for the job of selling your home. Now, if you don't mind me asking, now here's what I ask us. What is it specifically that you think that I might not be the right? What is it that you think that I might not be the right agent for you? Or what is it specifically on why it is that you feel that I'm not the right agent for you? Or what is the specifically, what is the number one reason why you feel I'm not the right agent for you? Okay, now this is going to take your conversation a little bit deeper, right? That rebuttal to that objection is not going to get anyone to sign a contract, right? What they're going to do is they're going to share with you their concerns, share with you their next level objections. Well, it doesn't look like you do a whole lot of stuff in my area. Well, it doesn't look like you've been selling real estate for a long time. I've never heard of your company, right? There's a barrage of objections that come over this, but you're not going to get to any of those objections unless you get past this one objection, right? So let's kind of go ahead and reframe that. So I'm not sure you're the right agent for us. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I totally get that you feel that I might not be the right agent for you. In fact, most homeowners want to make sure that they're making the right decision in choosing the agent to sell their home. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what is the number one reason why you feel that I might not be the right agent for you? Okay. You can say the top three, top two. Say whatever you want to say. Just make sure that there's a question that digs in and gets you a little bit more information. Okay. So that's it. I'm not sure if you're the right agent for us. Now let's move on to the second objection. Now, again, guys, for those of you that are in the role-playing group, for those of you that are live, typically you're the only ones in the role-playing group because to watch this live, it's one of those benefits only to people in the role-playing group. But these are the objections that are going to be on next week's role-playing. So you probably noticed in the schedule that you can now click on the objection and you can actually hear this part of the training so you can prep for it before you actually get into role-playing. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so the next one, if we sell our home, we're going to need another one, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to afford something in the market, in this market. So guys, this could be a condition. Might not be an objection. This is a valid concern, right? If we sell our home, right, we might not be able to buy another one. We might not be able to afford to buy another one. In my market, in the Southern California market, homes have never been worth more than they have now in the history of forever, right? So if you live in Southern California, and I'm guessing that this is in a lot of different municipalities, a lot of different areas, because we're all, most people that I talk to are experiencing a frenzy in their real estate. But it's a valid concern, unless you're talking to somebody who's downsizing, right? But then the concern is if they downsize, they're going to pay the same amount of money if they downsize than when they bought the home, which is probably unlikely. But those are some valid concerns. So if we sell our home, we're going to need another one, and I'm not sure we can afford something. So this is you need to ask questions to determine if this is a condition or if this is an actual objection, an actual concern, right? The person who asks the questions controls the conversation. You're not going to be able to get past anything until you satisfy this question. So let's go back to this. Again, we're going to acknowledge. So, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I totally get that you're concerned about selling this home and not being able to afford the next one. In fact, most homeowners who are selling and expanding a lot of times feel the same way. Now, if you don't mind me asking, now you ask your question. Do you absolutely have to sell this home? Do you absolutely have to sell this home, right? That's a very clear question. If they say yes, okay, why? Can you rent it? Can you rent the home? No, we have to sell it. Okay, so now, remember, you don't have a lead until you know their why and their when, right? So this was a great opportunity to talk to them about what is their why? Why are they selling it? You know, it might be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, and they might be having another child on the way. So they need more space. Well, the need of more space is probably going to trump the need of actually selling things, because, one of the things that we have in us as I record this training, one of the benefits that we have right now, a lot of people don't see it this way, but one of the benefits that we have right now is that going into next year, there's a lot of concern, right? Nobody knows what next year is going to look like. I saw this meme on my Facebook page that it showed a small wave, and then behind it, there was a big wave. And the small wave, they named 2020, and the big wave, they named 2021, right? So the questions you need to ask somebody for this, remember, as real estate sales professionals, we're all sales professionals, you get paid more by solving big problems. The bigger the problem, the more money you make. So if we sell our home, okay, that's the objective, sell the home, but can they afford to get the next one? Okay, that's a problem that you have to solve. Now, here are some problems. This is kind of coming outside of the objection handling, but here's how I would counsel an agent if they had this and they came to me and they asked me my advice. I'm like, look, if you want to get the best of both worlds, number one, sell your home now, sell your home, maximize your top dollar. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, would you be willing to rent for a year or two while we see what happens with the market? Well, what happens if the market goes up? Well, first of all, we're at the very, very top of the market in the history of forever. So the chances of it going much higher, probably not that likely. In fact, they've lowered interest rates really, really low. I don't know if you guys heard this. Fannie and Freddie Mac just extended loan rates. Next thing you know, they're going to probably extend the loan term. They're doing a lot of different creative financing stuff to keep the thing moving, because if we were still at higher interest rates, when I say higher interest rates, I'm only just talking above 3%. Right? I'm not talking like huge interest rates. For those of us that have been in the business a long time, it's still 3% rate. Wow, 4, wow. But anyways, you got to solve that problem. So find out what their motivation is first. Find out when they want to sell, because that's the gauge of their motivation, and solve their problem. Look, they may not be okay with renting, and that's okay. But you know what? You're trying to solve a problem. They want to sell their house. You're trying to get it sold, but you have real estate. Our job is to solve a bunch of different problems, right? So let's kind of go back onto this and let's break this down. So if we sell our home, we're going to need another one, and I'm not sure if we can afford something. Okay, let's go back to the rebuttal equation. I just named that, by the way. Acknowledge. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I totally get that you're concerned that you want to sell this home and you're concerned about being able to afford buying the next one. I totally get that. Approve. In fact, most homeowners who are actually selling right now and actually needing to upside are having the similar concerns. Throw in a softener right here. In fact, if you don't mind me asking, what is it that concerns you most about the market right now? Why is it that you need to sell this home? There's other questions. So it's just being able to formulate this. Guys, we've done this. If you guys were on the live training, I don't know, maybe it was 4 or 5 weeks ago, but all I just picked up random objections and we just followed this whole process, right? Acknowledge, approve, throw in a softener, ask a question. And you can rebuttal every single question. It's not always just about the words. You need to know the words. You need to know how to say things, but it's about the structure. right? Okay, so that's number 2. That's how I would rebuttal this one. Let's move on to the third and final one before I let you guys go so you can get on the role playing. How did you get my number? You know, we might do 4 today. This isn't that tough. So how did you get my number? Okay, this is not going to be an objection that you're going to get on a second or third or fourth call. Okay, this is an objection that you're going to get probably within the first few microseconds of calling this person, probably within the first 5 or 10 seconds. How did you get my number? Right now, here's how you need to do this. We're not going to follow this. This is not a real objection. This is closer to a blow off. This is a very direct question. So you need to reply to it very directly and then ask a question. Now, I'm going to frame this up like I'm calling, I don't know, an expired listing. Okay. So I'm calling the expired listing. They pick up, they say hello. I say, yeah, hi, John. Yeah, this is John. No, this is not a new expired. Let's say that this is an old expired. Okay, actually, it doesn't really matter. Hi, John. Yeah, this is John. Who's this? Hey, John, this is Brett over here at Keller Williams, over here at the Irvine office. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. How did you get my number? Right, and like how you do that, they bark at you. How did you get my number? Well, so that was a direct question. You can't just ignore it. Okay, that's one thing that I can't stand when, and I don't know about you guys, when I get cold called on, every now and then I actually answer them. Anyone who calls me from an unidentified number is like a 90% chance I'm getting cold called. So every now and then when I have time, I'll answer it just to see how good they are. Now, how did you get my number? Ask a question, and then you just ignore them and then just go into it. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way that you're going to build rapport and move the question along. The way that you're going to be able to rebuttal this is actually hit it direct, ask a question, right? They threw something at you very direct. You're going to catch it and you're going to throw it back, right? So how did you get my number? You know, that's a great question. I have an advanced computer system that is able to pull up everybody's phone number just by their address. Now, if you don't mind me asking, are you still interested in selling your home? Okay. If you just said that you have an advanced computer system that looks up phone numbers as from their address and then silence, it's not going to go, you're not in control of that conversation. You have to ask a question, right? Now, this is going to, again, we have different levels of objections, right? Everyone builds upon the other one. It's like a pyramid. So how did you get my number? You know, that's a really great question. I have a pretty advanced computer software that takes your address and gives me the most likely phone number associated with it. If you don't mind me asking, are you still looking to sell your home? And then it's going to come up with another objection. You know, you're the 5th person that actually called me. Wow, I'm the 5th person that actually called you. If you don't mind me asking, how early did they start calling you? Well, they started calling me at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock? Holy cow! It's 9:30. Yeah, I've gotten like 10 phone calls in that. Only 10? Usually by now you would at least get 20. But look, Mr. Seller, while I have you on the phone, if you don't mind me asking, are you still interested in selling your property? Yeah, but I'm taking the home off the market for, you know, I'm taking the home off the market. I need to take a breather. Oh, I totally get it. You need to take a breather. Well, I would like to see if perhaps I can apply for the job of selling your home. Are you familiar with the things that I do to sell homes? No. Well, would you be open to sitting down with me sometime this week for me to come by and show you? Well, maybe not this week. I really want to take time off for this week. You know, give me a call next week. So you might be open to actually working with me or talking to me next week. Yeah, I could talk to you next week. Okay, could we set up a tentative appointment for us to meet next week? Would that be possible? Yeah, that'd be possible. Okay, I'm looking at my calendar. I can do Tuesday or perhaps Thursday. Do either of those days work for you? Yeah, Thursday would work for me. Are you better in the morning or are you better in the afternoon? Better in the afternoon. Guys, it's a funnel, right? I'm not just going for the jugular. I'm actually having a conversation with them, right? And that's the key here, is to not come off salesy, is to just have a conversation like a normal person, right? So Guys, that's what I have for today. I thank you for those of you who are watching, and make sure that you tune in every Tuesday and Thursday for this. Now, I got to let you guys go early simply because I have a prospecting blitz that's starting here this morning. I have a bunch of people coming up. We're just going to be hitting the phones hard. For those of you that are in this training, I can only give you guys some advice that I'm giving to the agents that I work with, and that if you don't put something in escrow, if you don't put something under contract this month, then the chance of you of getting a commission check in January is pretty slim, right? And the deeper that we get into December, the deeper the harder it's going to be. Some of the benefits that we have is that as we look at the market, Brett's thoughts on the market is, number one, is there are fewer homes that are going to be coming onto the market and fewer homes that are selling. But number two, the nice thing is that there are proportionally, there are going to be fewer agents that work. So I would encourage you to increase your prospecting efforts. Your numbers are going to be skewed between this time and until the end of the year. But those efforts, somebody out there right now in your immediate area, they are looking to speak with a real estate agent to get a home listed. And the only way that you're going to be able to find them, the easiest way to find them, is just go direct. So I encourage you guys, increase your prospecting efforts. I'm increasing my prospecting efforts. Every agent that I'm working with is increasing their prospecting efforts. And I promise you that if you do the same thing, then you will have a great start to your first quarter. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on Thursday. Take care.